Too late I realized the treachery of Saruman. Far afield of Rosgobel and the path of my errand, to reach of the white hand spread to the Gladden fields. There his servants sought the ring he would not claim, and there they remain, forgotten in purpose, searching for naught. Ah, so that is the question. Are these is not in his cage, but Volfilla appears to be waiting for you. All right. Hello there.
Well, what say you? Will you help us?
Surprised to see me, eh? So is Sharkey. But I told him all about what you and Tortilla got up to down here in the Warrens. Sharkey says whoever captures you gets to keep half the spoils of the next dig. Oh, don't get any ideas about turning back, though, or Sharky's going to string that little sneak up before the night's out. What do you say, Pineleaf? Care to make me a richer man? Really? Is that what you're expecting? Me to make you rich? Fine. Are you sure about that? Okay. And we'll duke it out, or spear it out, or whatever it is out. Ah. Oh, Sharky. You do realize that. Hey. Ouch. One does wonder about what's going on. If Sharky's here, then what's really going on here? Well, let's find Tortilla. Oh. Ah, more of these guys. Really? Oh, well. On your feet! Sharky wants this one alive! Are you sure about that? Why does Sharky always want me alive? I don't know. Ah. Well, we'll just have to take care of him. There you go. Goodbye. I need to make a few more dinners for me. I'm running low on snacks. I've run out of snacks. Boy, we got quite a crowd here. Hey, would you guys like to all surrender to me and return to civilization? I'm sure you'll live a lot longer in a jail cell than you will living down here in these damp warrens that have been abandoned for several centuries. It's not even fit for a hobbit anymore, even though it looks like that maybe a few centuries ago it might have been comfortable enough. Oh well. Must say, they must have used a pretty good wood here because that wood's not in all that. I mean, look at that. That wood's in pretty good shape, if you ask me. The door handles were a little bit lower back in those days, I guess. All right, well, let's go to the next one here and head out. Hey, are you guys willing to surrender? How about leaving this place forever and not bugging anyone here? Yeah? As they say, you were promised riches? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Dead men do not spend lots of money. Dead men do not get rich. Dead men are dead. Now, let's see. Oh, another one of these guys. Oh, look at there. Did I miss somebody? Well, quad teaming me. How nasty of them. How rude of them. How... Well, I'm sure it's not nice. Yes, that's it. How not nice of them. How very not nice of them. Okay, I'm running out of adjectives for people who are not very nice. Alright, you're down, and now for you. Yeah, I whiffed on that one. How about that? I'll still beat you. You and your little dog here. Goodbye. Well then, now that we've taken care of the flankers, let's head out. I must be getting pretty... Oh yes, there they are, holding him prisoner. Well then, he's too busy kicking the prisoner to notice poor little me coming here. Well, I could deal with them. Ah there, watch the dancing hobbit. I'm wondering, this place is a bit tall for a hobbit hole, I must say. Really, they seem to be fitting in here most comfortably. Oh well, alright. Oh, he tied him up to the totem! Oh, boy. Ah, let's get him out of here. There you go. Oh, oops. Are you okay? I did not expect you to come, Pineleaf. My wounds are not deep. I just need a moment to catch my breath. What? Sharkey! Uh-huh. Sharkey. Contrary to Radagast's beliefs, Sharkey seems to be a pale half-orc. His hair is matted with some sort of white clay, but darker patches are able to be visible around him. You would never describe half-orcs as handsome, but he seems that Sharkey has taken on a great deal of care of crafting his appearance. His brow is furrowed in frustration, and he looks at you up and down. Not one of them could stop you! Sharkey glares at you. Behind his stern gaze, you detect a hint of shock. Uh-huh. All right. So, we have this guy who thinks he's Sharky. I guess that sort of makes sense. That with the... You have bested my men, but you're no match for me. Yeah. I can just imagine what would happen if the real Sharky came and saw that he was being imitated by somebody else, but I suppose my character wouldn't know that because, of course, is how... Oh, boy, that's rude. I mean, that's really rude. But then we are talking about this guy here. So I guess he must have thought of himself as Saruman's successor or something like that, and maybe took over the White Hand after what happened there. I do wonder what this is all about, though. Stop! Stop! I surrender! Wait, please, I'll explain. I'm not really Sharky. Well, my name is Garmog, and I once served Saruman. All right. When Saruman sent us to the Hornburg, I deserted the White Hand. Several of my kind followed me, and I came to disguise myself as Sharky. My deception gave us a higher standing than Saruman had, and so we let the ruffians believe what they wanted. But I suppose that's finished now. Before I deserted, I served Saruman in the mines beneath Orthanc. It seems Saruman's Urukai had taken to calling him Sharku. As time wore on, Saruman grew fond of their nickname for him. It was then began to call himself Sharky. Perhaps he misheard Urukai, or perhaps he just liked Sharky more. After all, Sharkoo just means old man in the orcish tongue. That is the truth of it. Tell your wizard I will lead the Gladden fields. May our paths never cross again, Pineleaf. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. So it wasn't the real Sharky then. All right, I was wondering how Saruman got here. What need would a wizard have to lead a band of ruffians over petty thievery? Could a wizard not do such things himself if he so desired? How can we trust this Gamrod was not deceiving you? Well, I can't be certain, but the name Sharkey has long been known to you. From the fields of Breland to Andrath, his outlaws have long troubled the free peoples. And my mind turns to the pipe we discovered in the ruins of Isengard. Could Gamrod have spoken true? Is Sharkey the old man truly Saruman? Well, first off, if you recall, the time when we were in Orthanc, old man is what the Uruk-hai always called Saruman. Yes, whatever the plans of Gamrog had been undone, and I do not think the Wilder folk have need to fear for the return of the ruffians. Thank you, Pineleaf, and thank you for saving my life. You're welcome. It's good that's over with. How wonderful it is to see the Vales again. Well, perhaps this isn't the most beautiful spot, but it's certainly better than a cage. Well, I will give you that. Most certainly, I will give you that.
There. How fares the hunting? Good, I hope.
Yes, I owe you my life, Pineleaf. I'll make for Elmgard with the goods that Sharky Garmog and his demon stole, and see if they don't belong to any of my kinfolks there. I suppose I'll have to build a new wagon, but I can look after myself now. Don't you worry about me. You should go back to Hootvis and tell Radagast all about Sharkey. All right, I shall do that. Okay, but first, I think I've got a little bit more stuff to do here first. Now, I'm supposed to examine glands and calm some marsh tenders. I think this is about the right place. Ah, like there's a marsh tender there. Right? Well. Okay, well. They're not wanting to be calm. Or maybe these are the wrong marsh tenders. These must be maddened ones. Maybe some are beyond calming. Ah, some have just fallen to madness. Alas. Ah, here's one that needs calming. Calming. Ah. Okay. Some can still be calmed, while others are just mad. Here, calm down. Help is on the way, eventually. Ah! Here's the glands I'm supposed to examine. The petals of these glands are marked with round patches of an identifiable blight. Okay. Hopefully Radagast might have some way of figuring what it is. But right now I still need to get rid of the hopelessly mad ones and calm the ones that can be saved. and maybe find a few more glands to help to find out what's happening here. But alright, apparently glands is the name of a flower or plant, and not. Oh, two at once! And it has nothing to do with being in a happy mood. Alright, well, I'm sure that gladdens my heart to know that etymology. Hey, well, I guess that's one way to handle that. Now to find more of these man creatures, more of these flowers, and... Oh! Well, that's called lashing out at you. Now I just need to get a little water sample from the Gladden Falls. Well, I hope this is a reasonable way to get in here. This doesn't exactly seem to be the best way in which to gather water. Fortunately, I did find some dry land. Ooh, there's a green tinge in the water, and I was swimming in it? Yuck, 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 yuck. I have the file. The sparrow appears to have awaited your return. It points its beak to its leg, and I decide that it intends to return to Radagast with the scroll and the small phial of water that I've collected. I gently tie the phial of water to one of the sparrow's legs and produce the scroll that Radagast prepared for me. I then turn over and begin to write on the side that Radagast left blank. Tell Radagast that many of the glands near the gland falls have become blighted, but a few still show no signs of the disease. I also note that the water of the gland falls appears to be solid, but I am uncertain as to the source of the pollution. I roll the scroll, bind it to the barrel's leg, and that should finish it. Whee! Now, back to Hultvis, or should I look for Gandalf? Hello there, Gandalf.
You know the War of the Last Alliance and the siege of Barad-dûr that concluded the Second Age.
I've heard about it, yes. Well, when the fighting was done in the last alliance, the several kindreds that came together for the defeat of Sauron faced long roads back to their respective homelands. With the death of his father, Elendil, Isildur ascended to the kingship. After 2 years of ordering the affairs of Gondor, he set forth to claim his father's throne at Anniminus. He bore the shards of his father's sword, Narsil, which had been broken when Sauron was defeated. He bore another artifact in secret, the ruling ring he had taken from Sauron's hand. Let us walk southeast along the road to Lairland, my friend. Further ahead, we will speak of Isildur's journey. All right, further southeast along the road. Okie dokie. Whatever. So what did you want to discuss down here?
Isildur rode from Minas Tirith with a small company, including his 3 eldest sons.
Isildur followed the river Anduin northward. He planned to cross the Misty Mountains, where he would be reunited with his youngest son, Valandil. Being but a child and too young for war, Valandil had remained behind in the safety of Rivendell, and it was for that hidden valley that Isildur intended to ride. But the ring he bore was no mere trinket. Already it yearned to return to its master. It would prove Isildur's undoing. Look around us, Pineleaf. More than 3,000 years have passed since Isildur came this way, but the shape of the land has changed little. This is what he would have seen as he rode, in the company of his sons and his men of arms, little suspecting the danger the ring would draw. All right, let's look at the countryside around here. Despite the warmth of springtime, I feel a chill in the air. Well, we are in the north and a little bit mountainy, aren't we?
The War of the Last Alliance had ended in victory. Did that success blind Isildur and his men?
Were they blinded as they rode north? Did they think the shadow had gone away forever and dark things could trouble them no more? I do not know for certain. They lived in fear of Sauron's evil for so long that it seemed to me that they have met his defeat with doubt that it would be last. Yes, whether they did or did not, it is true that dark things abide still in Middle-earth. The orcs of Wilderland lay in wait, lurking within the shadows of Mirkwood. Perhaps they heard rumor of Isildur's approach, or perhaps the ring called out to them. Let us continue up the road, Pineleaf. We walk in the footsteps of Isildur's company, even 3,000 years later. So further up the road to meet with Gandalf. Ah, Gandalf indicates that he wishes to stop here, beside the road. All right. And what's over here?
The orcs struck as Isildur's company crossed near to the Gladden Fields.
Whether they were alerted by the presence of the ring or not, the orcs struck as Isildur's company crossed near the Gladden Fields. The attack came in darkness, with neither sun nor moon in the sky, and in the blackness the orcs had the greatest advantage. Ooh boy. Near the dark of the moon, they attacked. Look around us, Pineleaf. Isildur and his men were unfamiliar with the lay of the land, but their foes ranged it for years, plundering the towns and villages of Wilderland. Surveyed the crane and can almost hear the harsh war cries of the orcs. Are you sure we're not hearing real war cries of the orcs, as they seem to like to attack every once in a while?
The orcs descended upon Isildur's band with ravenous fury.
Buoyed by their advantage in the darkness, the orcs descended upon Isildur's man's band in a ravenous fury. Even so, it was a hard fight. The men of Gondor were strong and valiant, and they had much skill at arms. Do not forget that they were survivors of the great war against Mordor, and years of battle had hardened their courage and their resolve. But the orcs were many, and they were treacherous foes, prone to trickery. Their warriors practiced the arts not just of combat, but also of deception. The battle that followed was brutal. The blood soaked the hills. Onward, Pineleaf. The end of the story draws near. It lies to the northwest. Climb down the slope to the bank of the river and meet me further north. Further to the north, down the bank. This seems to be a misty place. Hold on. What now?
Isildur pressed north, harried by his enemies, but he did not make it far.
The orcs proved relentless, and for every one of the Dunedain killed, 2 more leapt forward in its stead. Soon the dwindling company could go no further, and Isildur knew that there would be no escape. He watched as his knights, his captains, and even his own sons fell in the fray. Look down as he did Pineleaf, and imagine the encircling hordes drawing ever nearer. Oh, what a wonderful place to be trapped. What did Isildur feel as the battle turned against him?
Of his men, only 3 survived. One of these was Octar, Isildur's own esquire.
Yes, one of the survivors was Othar, Isildur's esquire, with whom the doomed king entrusted the shards of Narsil. He bade Othar bring the broken blade to Rivendell. Did the squire obey his lord's command without complaint, or did he wish to stand by his king and die with him? We do not know for certain. What we know is that Otar managed to slip away during the confusion of battle, and after much toil and danger in the wilderness, he came to Rivendell safely, bearing the shards of Narsil. They became an heirloom of Isildur's line ever after, in Arnor and later among the Rangers of the Wild. Our account of Isildur ends with the departure of Otar. The squire believed Isildur fought on, even without hope of victory, but for long years even the wise did not know.
For many years following the disaster of the Gladden Fields, none knew what became of Isildur.
Most believed Isildur perished in the ambush shortly after Otar escaped from the shards of Narsil, for there was no further word of the king. His body was never found, and there was no claim for ransom by the orcs or their masters. But in time, the wise learned his true fate. After sending Otar away, Isildur saw but one hope for survival. Refusing to allow the ring to fall back into the hands of the enemy, he put it on and disappeared even amidst the tumult of the battle. Leaving the orcs to the fury of their confusion, he fled to the river and sought to swim across. See the islet over yonder, to the west? I believe that is where the son of Elendil intended to go. Look, let us follow him, Pineleaf, and pick up the story at its ending. To the ending. Well then, let us go to the islet. Interesting. Could it be the same islet? Because 3,000 years can change a river more so than many other places, right? Oh, good to be on dry land at least. The island is covered with small white flowers. All right.
The river Anduin is mighty, and it was no less so when Isildur sought to swim across.
The effort of swimming across nearly killed him, but still he managed to reach the island. But alas, while he was still in the water, the ring betrayed him. It slipped from his finger and was lost. Even when the wise pieced together this account of the event, we did not know the truth entire. We believed the ring had been borne by the current to the sea, and that it left this Middle Earth. The truth of the rediscovery of the ring has now shown otherwise. Look around you, Pineleaf, and imagine Isildur's despair as he rose from the water without the enemy's ring. And here we are. It's a pretty hefty island, maybe. Considering the terrain, it would last 3,000 years. The sound of the water rushing by fills my ears, but all else is quiet.
Bereft of the safety provided by the ring's power, Isildur did not live for much longer.
The orcs soon spied Isildur standing by the water and shot him with arrows. As the tale says, he breathed his last breath here, in the Gladden Fields. I believe it happened on this very ayat, which is why these flowers bloom here still, rather than the gladdens that springs to life elsewhere in the fields. Cymbelimene they are called still in Rohan, where they cover the grave mounds of many dead kings. And so Isildur at last met his end, betrayed by the ring, and slayed by the foes before he could return to the lands he hoped to rule. But his tomb at Annuminus stands empty, for his bones remain unfound to this day.
That is the end of the tale, and it has taken many years to piece it together.
And that's the tale of Isildur. So what else does Gandalf want to discuss? We have to find that out in the next episode of Pineleaf in the North Kingdoms.